Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Because we are rich from birth.
Hello, and welcome. This is season 2 of Rich from Birth, the podcast. I'm so excited that you came and joined us again. I, of course, am your host, Jessica A. Ross, Mrs. Jam Good, and I am awesomely accompanied by the amazing
Coach Rich.
Wow.
And my homie, my man's dope lyricist, Translee as well.
What's good? Happy to be here.
We have gone out into this world and found other amazing human beings who understand the idea of being rich from birth. Not only can you hear this in his music, but you can see this when he walks into the room. He understands that he has a glow. What is it, Translee? Tell the people, where's the glow come from?
Oh, inner peace, outer glow.
Yay!
It's as simple as that. Simple as that, for sure.
That's the brand, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Oh man, so after the pandemic, first of all, thank y'all for having me, for sure though. This is really, really dope. But after the pandemic, me and my lady friend, we just were kind of sitting around coming up with ideas, and I'm making a long story short. Mm-hmm. But to make a long story short, we came up with the idea, digitized it, partnered with my friend's brand. It was my first time ever kind of selling merch, and I didn't really realize the power of it. And yeah, we dropped it. Like literally, I just wrote it on a piece of paper, took a picture of it, digitized it, and then we put it on a shirt, and it went crazy. Mm-hmm. And it was more so because I'm less of a fashion guy, more of a passion guy. Mm-hmm. So it became a thing. So you know, we tried to just keep pushing the brand because it's all about wearing your inspiration. So that's kind of where it came from in a nutshell.
I love that. So being that you now have merch alongside your music that you produce, what is it that you're wanting people to get from what you offer the world?
Great question.
Man, just to be real, to be real, like that's what my artistry is based on. That might be cliche, but I always tell like even younger artists that like ask me like, you know, just advice or whatever, and I'm like, tell your story. Mm-hmm. Like be as real as you can be, because that's the only way nobody can copy you, because nobody is you. So if you're as real, like if this is what's going on in your life, talk about it. You know what I mean?
That part.
So I think what I want to be left out is that I was real, and that now I'm definitely at a point where I want to inspire and give like peace through my music. Like if your peaceful place is somewhere off listening to my song, that's a win for me. So that's really where I'm at, because there's so much other stuff in the world that's pushing against that. I just want to push a little bit in that direction. So.
In what ways do you have in mind as far as how to accomplish that?
Really just to continue doing what I'm doing, and to take inner peace, outer glow, and really try to make it more of a community thing, with just live, more in-person things. I want to help more people get therapy. Like I wanted to go from merch to more like working things. So that's part of my plan, and then to just take my music and continue making uplifting, inspirational songs like Did Just Fine, one of the latest songs that I dropped, and just to kind of be that, I don't even know what word I'm trying to, be a catalyst for peace, catalyst for hope, everything. I just want to live in that space. Like drama, I don't want to even be around it, see it, take it in and all.
I do have a question, because everybody has their own definition of things. What is your definition of peace?
Man, I think so. Life is about ups and downs. So like the downs are just as much a part of life as the ups. Yes, like when you're having a bad time, it's not like you're on some deviation from life. Like no, that is just, you're just living life. And so I think being able to be in the middle, for me, just being able to stay not too high, not too low, or anything, stay in the middle with just things that are going on in life, just so that I don't get worked up about anything, so I don't get too excited about anything or too low about anything. Like I like keeping a level head and being in the middle. Like I like when my family's good. I like when my bank account is good. That's definitely peace for sure.
Facts.
You
Gotta
Gotta
do it. That'll do it. That right there.
estimate that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on that note, this is Rich from Birth,
Mhm.
the podcast. Tell me what it means to you to be like rich beyond financials.
Man, rich from birth is such a strong saying because we came up in a generation where we were actually able to be rich from birth,
Mm-hmm.
like to have parents that weren't under Jim Crow or the times before that. Like, so we were able to come into life. Not everybody had different situations, but we got to come into some level of peace that had never been that our ancestors didn't have. So we have the blessing to be able to experience peace at a different level than our ancestors. I'm gonna put it like that, and being able to take advantage of that and to heal things before we pass it on to the next generation, I think is important. So just having the ability to heal is, I think, a very rich thing for us to have in this time period, for sure. And that has nothing to do with money.
Facts.
It's we're privy to a lot of information these days, so I feel like even our parents, like they weren't growing up talking about mental health, and like now people, it's like you see 10-year-olds talking about mental health. So it's like, but we're also losing the work ethic that they had too. So
there's that.
If like we could mix their work ethic with our ability to work on our mental health, out of there.
Facts.
But yeah, that's probably my best.
That's dope.
I love that. I think that's the reason why we wanted to create a space like this. The understanding that you're rich from birth and those riches are internal. That's the thing that can be like, okay, now I can. Now I will. Now I'll try. Because of the idea that there is a space that seconds it. Because sometimes in your household, if it's not seconded, then you don't know it's real because it's not presented to you. But I want Rich from Birth the podcast, and I know that that's the reason why Rich even wanted the idea of this to be something that can say you can too. So if you were going to talk to a young person who is coming up wanting to do something similar to you, what would you say to them about how they can access that inner peace to have the outer glow?
I would say it goes back to what I said, like, don't try to be what the industry is. Like, create who you are and tell your story. Like, even if you had to go through wild things in the streets, if you can put that to paper, that's an amazing way to turn a bad into a good. I always just say, if I can make a good song about a bad thing that happened, then we turn it around. So I always say, tell your story. That's how you're gonna feel the best about your art. I can't say that enough to young artists. Like, let's not, like, and D1 said it so perfectly also, just
You gotta get him on the show too.
narrate. Like, it's okay for narration versus glorification. Like, it's one thing to say, this is what I've been through, whatever, if I had to get busy, whatever, and put it and narrate your story versus just glorifying it. That's a different thing. So I would say that too, because I hear just a lot of young cats, they just make music and just say anything. And now it's just so important for them not to, because it's a lot easier for those words to come back to them faster now, because they're not even fighting no more. Like,
That's a great one.
we used to have fist fights. You know what I mean? I feel like I sound like an old person. But
Back in the day, we used to meet you outside.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
You
saying?
set it up like
and you wasn't worried about
time.
nobody losing their life. You know what I mean? And you know it would happen every now and then for sure. But now it's just like, oh,
That's the
it's
thing.
it's a guarantee. It's guaranteed. Like you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's dead.
yeah, you going on the shirt for sure.
Dang.
There's no question about
Dang.
it.
for real,
And there's a
though.
GoFundMe for you too.
There's no
you know what I'm
fish
saying?
fry, all that.
Yeah.
I would just say that because I see a lot of them going left, and I don't want to just overclassify every YN, you know what I mean? But I'm just speaking to the ones that are, you know, trying to glorify life that they're not even living. So, you know, tell your story.
Facts. I had a quote I used to think about all the time. Say, until the lion learns how to write, the story will always glorify the hunter.
Mm.
What does that mean to you when you hear that?
That's very deep because it shows you that there's two sides to everything, you know, and a lot of times it's kind of like the Bible. Like the stories that got told were the stories that got told,
Yeah.
and the stories that didn't get told were stories that didn't get told.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think that that's real, and if you're a lion, please learn how to write
Yeah, for sure.
because they gonna set it up to fit their narrative always.
Every time.
I like how you have an emphasis on story itself.
Mm.
If you were going to rewrite the narrative of black men, you know, because everybody has an opinion of black men.
Mm.
I mean, and it comes from wherever it comes from.
Mm.
But what would be the narrative that you feel like would represent black men best?
A narrative of resilience and strength and brilliance. To be completely honest, I think that over time it's got muddy, and I definitely think music has helped
Sure.
to muddy it. I think
Sure.
social media has helped to muddy it. I think, you know, there was just a time where, and mind you, times were harder, so they made harder people and made tougher people. But like if you think back in the 70s and the 60s, the type of black men that we had, you know,
Stand up.
very stand up. And once they did what they did and made it a little bit easier for us, then now we have an explosion of what that brought on. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm doing a lot of hand gestures. but yeah, like what came from that. So I think, you know, getting us back to that point without like having that dog in us, without it having to be Jim Crow times, or you know what I mean? Like just us naturally having that brilliance and getting rid of that laziness. But it's a whole lot of things. Like I think weed, like I love weed. I think weed is great for a whole lot of things. But I think our youth, it's messing them up because when they start smoking at 12, 13, 14, the years where you're supposed to be thinking your way through a lot of things, they smoking, and it makes you okay with mediocrity. It makes you okay with just nothingness. You know what I mean? So at that age group, I always tell people, like young people, like smoke when you get your life together. It's great once you got your life together. Grow up, get your whatever job you want to have or whatever career you want to figure that out. Then you can start smoking because you got your shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I hate to see when I see them in high school smoking. It's like just might miss out on something being high. It's like don't do it yet. But it's a lot of things I would say to rewrite it, but just get that dog in us without the dogs being on us.
I hope y'all hear that out there, young guys, man. Put the weed down, pick up your crown. You know what I mean? You heard what he said, man. That's what's going on. I tell my kids all the time, man, you gotta do what you gotta do before you can do what you want to do.
Yep.
You know, that's what real manhood is really rooted in.
Yep.
Doing the hard things, even when you don't want to do the hard things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As men, we can't pass the buck off.
Nah, there's no one to pass it to.
Ain't no one to pass it to. Yeah. We looking at you. You know what I'm saying? We waiting on you. Like, so, your music, man, your music, you know, it's rooted in, like, principles and values.
Mm-hmm.
Where do those principles and values come from? Like, and how did that, like, you know, help you and shift your journey as far as before the fame came?
So my mom passed whenever I was 16, and
doses, bro.
And appreciate it. And that was my coping mechanism, was to like just write and get in the studio.
On my mama grave, these ain't the Obama days.
Yes.
I caught that.
Yeah. So it was a thing where me and one of my closest friends still to this day, man, we used to get in the studio. We had like a little group, and I don't know what he was getting out of it, but for me, it was like, that was my therapy back then. You know what I mean? And I just got good at it over time. But I've always just been good at expressing myself through rhyme. And whenever me and Chris moved to Atlanta, years and years ago, like 2010, we met Mr. Collie Park, and he let us intern with him. Make a long story short, he ended up signing me, and this is the same man that's signed Ying Yang Twins, Soulja Boy, all that. So that's kind of how I got in the game when I first moved here. Because
shout out to Collie Park.
Yeah, shout out to Collie Park, man. Still my dog to this day. Sure. And first we started off as interns. Like how we met him was just crazy. It was all just divine how it all happened. Mm-hmm. But we moved down here and started interning with him, passing out Soulja Boy CDs, VIC. I remember VIC, mm-hmm. Passing out, going on the road with him, just interning. And one day, Collie Park. I remember because I used to try to make, like when I moved here, came straight from Alabama. I was a country. I ain't even seen too much in my life, and so I came here and it's like Atlanta got everything. Mm-hmm. So I went from Alabama to me and Chris. Now we with Collie Park, pulling up to the club in Bentleys, seeing all the superstars and celebrities walking in the club, people being happy to see you. You know what I mean? Like it was a mind. Can we curse on you? Mm-hmm. It was a complete mind fuck. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a complete. It was like I couldn't believe it. Like I really couldn't believe it. And yeah, so short the story, he just ended up hearing this flow that I did. I was very introspective by my mom, and he was like, man, he's like, man, I like that. Like I'm gonna put some money up behind you. Like don't quit your job, but but I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we'll figure something. I'm gonna put something up behind some of your songs or whatever. Mm. So that was kind of how I got my start in the game. Like he invested a little bit. Like, you know, he didn't go all in because he knew club music. He knew Soulja Boy, She Got It On. Yeah. She Got It On. Like he knew Ying Yang Twins, Collie Park, Bubba Sparks. He had Bubba Sparks, VIC. He didn't really understand that lyrical lane. Like he didn't understand the work that it took to get something like that moving. Mm. So, you know, I don't really blame him for not like really. He didn't go that far with it. Like we did a few things. We did a few World Star videos. Back when World Star was everything. But that boosted me to another level. With like back in my hometown, I was the man. Because they was like, this man signed with Collie Park. Yeah. They was freaking out. So it was like I could go back home, get paid to do shows, features. It was starting to blow. Like I felt like it was just the most craziest feeling I ever had in my whole life. And yeah, so that kind of just turned into what my career turned into. It just kept kind of moving and grooving, you know.
That's dope. So you spoke about, you know, your mother passing. My mother also passed about 2 years ago.
Sorry to hear that, man.
For sure, man.
For real.
But like I say, you know, it activated a certain energy within me, man, that, you know, like I said, I probably wouldn't be sitting right here right now if it wasn't for her passing, you know. Cause I don't know, it's just, I said it when it happened too. I was telling somebody, I actually went across a Facebook memory not too long ago when I was in the comments saying that they were like, my condolences, and I'm like, nah, for some weird reason, like I feel more closer to her now than when she was here. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, she with you. She right there with you. Yeah. And that's something great. Like I think about that all the time. Like where would my life be? Because like I really got into music when she passed. Like I wasn't into music. Like I was a listener of music and I loved it. And I might have had a rhyme or two, but I was never like in the studio like that. So after she passed, I just drowned myself in the studio. It was like my coping mechanism and just got good at it. And I'm just like, man, this whole life path that it sent me down is from that. I was thinking about like, what would I be doing if she wouldn't have passed? Like, if she would have been, no disrespect, mama, but she would have been all up in my business. Man, like, oh, you need to marry that girl. Like, girls that I played along, strung along, played with, she wouldn't have went for that. I didn't have that guidance. You know what I mean? So I just kind of messed around with people. Then I didn't realize it was like abandonment issues. So like I would sabotage relationships before they even. That's a whole nother podcast.
But that's beautiful that you can like acknowledge that about yourself. And you said therapy a couple different times about like your music making, but then actually therapy itself. Is that something that you participate in, or is that something that you're willing to participate in for your story?
I've done it a few times. Okay. I did therapy a few times during the pandemic, and it was cool. And then me and my ex, we was in couples therapy for a while, and she my ex, so I guess it didn't work. But
I bet you got some more communication skills.
But we got a lot, and we're still cool.
Nice.
But we got a lot from that though. Like those were some really good therapy things. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I think it's like I need to get back in it to be completely honest. I'm gonna be honest. My health insurance, they be like they'll say that you have these therapists in your network, and then you'll call them like, oh, we don't take that insurance, or we don't take any insurance. They really want you to pay out of pocket. Therapists do. Yeah, so it's like that's the one thing that I kind of have problems. So normally when I do it, I'll be paying out of pocket like a bit like Better Health.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Better Health's like $300 a month.
Oh yeah.
But is that app?
I think it's the app.
Yeah. I think I've seen something.
You got the premium version of that app.
Well, no, it was like $260 or something like that.
Okay.
Or $240 something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it started to become a bill, and then I was like, this bill can go.
This bill is optional.
It's very, very optional. After a while, but that was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
So early on, man, like when you was just starting out, what helped you like maintain that belief in yourself before the world caught on?
Man, so whenever I was like before I came down here and got with College Park, I used to, like I said, I used to be in the studio all the time, but we was just making music. We weren't like back in Alabama. We weren't like pushing ourselves. We weren't doing shows. We weren't like. I wasn't confident like that. I didn't even really tell my family I was doing music. It was just a thing that I wanted to get better and I wanted to be great, but I just didn't feel like I just wasn't hearing it how I wanted to. I wasn't seeing myself how I wanted to see myself. So I used to always think about like, man, to make it, I gotta have people in Chicago like my music, people in New York, LA.
We was liking it. We definitely was liking it.
But this is before that. This is before that. I used to beat myself up like, man, how can I get like I can barely like it. How can I get somebody else to like it? And like people that are far away and these other good rappers on this. I used to literally think about that. And then when I got to Atlanta, started putting out music, College Park started supporting it. We started going on World Star. I started having people from New York, Chicago, LA, everybody reaching out. Then it blew my mind because I'm like, that's the hurdle that I didn't believe I could get over. Or I believed it, but I just didn't know how I was gonna do it.
Facts.
Got over that hurdle, then I was just like, oh, I can reach anybody now. You know what I mean? Like that's what gave me that confidence. I started seeing people all over, like having like real moments with my music, and that was like no other. So yeah.
So you just really, what I hear is like you just stuck in there, like even when you were dealing with like the unbelief, you know what I mean, the lack of confidence, you still kind of just, you know, you knew what you knew, like you said, you believed, but you just had to push yourself to that next level.
Yeah, and I needed a team, like you know what I mean. Like it was also a big confidence booster that Collie Park was rocking with me because he was major, you know what I mean. So I was coming from Huntsville. They was confused. Like whenever I started working with Collie Park, people in Huntsville was like, "Who is this guy?" Because they got rappers, you know, it's been rappers in the city that been grinding forever, and so they're like, "Who? We never even heard of this guy." So I kind of popped up like that, and I had to go back home and do a lot of shaking hands and doing shows and just doing a lot of stuff to let people understand, you know, who I was from my hometown. Then it was all love, and yeah.
So you basically blew outside of your hometown before you really blew in your hometown. It sound like.
Sort of. It all kind of happened at the same time.
Okay.
Because what happened was, you remember that song "Walk Around the Club"? Everybody.
Yeah.
Those two guys that made that song was signed to Collie Park too. So I was around. We was always around. So when that song kind of took off, Collie Park did a remix, and the remix had Waka, Soulja Boy, Ace Hood, Slim Duncan, and it had all these people on it. And he put me at the very end. I'll never forget. He called me. He was like, "Hey, get the studio quick. I'm gonna put you on the end of the song." It was the remix to Walk Around. And I shouted Huntsville out in the verse. And if nobody in the world played that remix, Huntsville, Alabama played that remix, because you got all these stars and you got one person at the end shouting out Huntsville.
Right.
So they played it on the radio all day because the song was already big. So it was comfortable for the DJ, the PDs. They was cool. They ran that song all day long. And that kind of blew me up in Huntsville. Like people was like, "Yo, who is this cat?" Like they started booking me. I'm like, what? You $1,500? You gonna pay $50? You gonna pay me $1,500? Like I was like getting, like, you know, it was my first time getting booked. Like it was crazy, man. Like it was just a time in my life that all came from just expressing myself because my mom passed. You know? So.
Man, that's dope, man. I just thought about something as you said, and one of my homies. Shout out to my man David. David, rest in peace, David Summer. But he told me before he passed away, he said, "Man, you gonna make it, bro." He said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that this rich man told me." He said, "Success is when opportunity meets preparation." And when you just said that, that's what I heard. Like you got that call, like, "Hey, hurry up, get here quick."
Yeah,
that was the opportunity. Not
yeah, oh, for
but
sure.
you like, all right,
Sure.
I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
A lot of people right there, you know what I mean? That's where they slip up at. They might get that call, miss the call,
yeah.
You know, ain't ready, can't get there, whatever it may be. But you answered and you showed up, and here you are.
Yeah,
that's dope, bro.
Appreciate that. I remember it was a time where I thought I had missed the call. It was when I first started kind of communicating with Tip. Because of course I had a whole situation with him years later. Yeah. And I remember when we first got connected, we had talked for like a little second, and he's like, I'm gonna get back with you. But in that moment, I'm like, "Oh, yo, I got to wait by the phone. I'm not letting this moment slip." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember, man, I ended up falling asleep at like maybe midnight or something. Woke up at
That's determination.
Woke up at like 5 in the morning, and this man called me at like 3 in the morning. And I was like, "No, I missed the call. Like that might have been my opportunity." He might think like, "This man's sleeping. Right. What was he doing? Sleeping at 3 o'clock? He's supposed to be up grinding."
I used to get his rest.
Right. Like, what is this man? Oh, I don't want to deal with him. He sleeps. Like
he sleeps.
like that's how my mind was thinking.
He's getting Z's.
Yeah, and like the next day he hit me back, and he was all the way on the other side of the country. So he was like, "Man, I was calling. I was in the studio, but he said it's all good. We can link back up." So we end up still working, but
that's dope.
But yeah, that's a whole nother story. But yeah,
that's what's up, man.
when it comes to being around music, because like, you know, this is a specific industry, lots of things have already happened within it. How do you become the change agent that you want to be in a sphere, in a space that's already so defined?
That's what we see. We got the media trying.
What? Man, I think now is easier than ever because it's so easy to put out your own content, your own things, your own.
Okay.
So now your own fan base can find you. There's no barriers to them finding you except for the algorithm, I guess. But you can build your own community now, easier than ever. So I don't think about, like, I look at it so much differently now. Like, even with like merchandise, it's like it's not about being as big as Drake or whatever. It's about, okay, if I can get 1,000 people to buy a $25 hoodie,
We in there.
and you know what I mean? Like, I have to think in numbers like that. Like, my community is like, it's like those are the numbers that I'm dealing with, and it's way more vast than that. But I'm just saying, if I'm talking about like trying to sell a product or whatever, or how many streams, or like when me and Gray put our project out on Even, you know.
I ain't know y'all put it on there.
Oh yeah, I bought it. That's
dope.
where I.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate that.
That's dope.
But from the financial side, we didn't need millions of listeners or anything to like really make a substantial amount of money.
Good.
More than I've ever seen at one time from streaming, ever. You'll never see that. So it's like, it's more to me about creating things for smaller groups and giving them an experience, and it'll spread from there. But you don't, to make a living, you know, it's more middle money. And I'm speaking from a financial, I know this is rich from, I know this, we're not really, it's in the basis of the rich from birth concept, but
No, we getting the money too.
yeah. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of middle money in it now versus back when it was, back before social media and all that. It was just, he was making billions with the major labels, or he was making nothing at all because there was nowhere for anyone to see anything.
Facts.
So now I feel like we're able to, it's a gift and a curse too, because it was a gatekeeping thing to keep all the BS and the saturation out back then. Now it's like the blessing is anybody can create their own community, and the curse is anybody can create their own community.
Yeah.
But
Anybody.
yeah. So I hope that I answered the question.
So what's one lesson or mindset shift that kept you grounded, like early on before you got successful?
It was that drive to have your moment as an artist, man. Like, to have your moment is like what you strive for. Like, when you watch the Grammys and you see artists on there like go up and get that award, you like wonder, like, man, like, will I ever reach that moment? You look at certain artists. I remember back when that song, I wish I could have this moment for life, that Nicki song, when that came out, that was when I was having my moment. Like, so I loved that song so much back then because I was really having my moment as far as like just coming into like, oh, when I go back home, you want to take pictures. It was just mind blowing.
Facts.
And like that drive to like continue putting out, you know, and it's positive. So it's like, it was just a win-win. So that's always kept me going. And then now it's like an obligation, you know. I've had people tell me like they were gonna commit suicide and they listened to my music and didn't. So it's like stuff like that happens.
Well, yeah, now you're a superhero.
But you're grounded by it. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah. It's like bigger. That's the song I listen to every morning. It's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like when you got that revelation, it was like it's bigger than me. Like,
exactly.
So as we wind down, I want to know like the thoughts you have like on repeat in your head. Are there things that you say to yourself that keep you understanding that inner peace, outer glow? Like, what are the things you're saying to you on a regular basis?
Definitely keep going. Because, I mean, in this music game, even in the merch game, like, there are great ups, and then also there's slow times, and same with music. So it's all about continuing. Like, consistency is the only thing that like really gets it, because motivation isn't always gonna be there. That's why I said it in that song with Gray. Two young niggas on a mission, kitchen. Sometimes motivation missing, tripping. Gotta thank God for the discipline, because like discipline and consistency, like that's what
Recipe.
Yeah, that's the recipe. Like it's the motivation is just not gonna always be there. So like, you know, sometimes I force myself to write, force myself to drop a song, just because you gotta stay in the groove of it. Because if you get out too long, it's just like you gotta start over, kind of. So definitely keep going, and it's more failures than wins in the music game, for sure, even if you're a big artist. And so just trying not to wear that, you know what I mean? Like, wear that on you, and continue believing that the next thing is gonna be the next thing. So
Facts.
Love that.
And thanking God too. That's something that I can't say enough, is that.
You put that in your music a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, attribute like wealth and riches to like finances, but we all know that it starts within. What's like some practices or some habits that you do that kind of keep you in that rich from birth mentality?
Another cliche thing, but when I'm going to the gym consistently, which right now I'm not, so
We gonna hold you to
do
it.
better.
Yeah, we got you.
But when I'm going to the gym consistently, I be feeling like a superhero. I be feeling like unstoppable. I feel like I think better. I just feel like everything is floating better for me. So, but I have ups and downs with the gym. Like, something will happen, I'll have a week away. I'll see my gains go away, then I'll just not get lazy. So
I got a trainer for it if you need one.
For real?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna talk after this.
Yes, sir.
But that is one thing. Staying creative, definitely. Like, whenever I'm not, like, sometimes I have to sit down and just write something, because when I'm not creative, I just feel like I'm not, you know, doing anything. So it's like, gotta stay creative, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
One of my beliefs, God created us to create, to connect, and to contribute. And if we're not doing those three things, like you kind of just touched on, we won't feel like we live in life like fulfilling. Like, we're not fulfilling our purpose, because that's what we were created to do. You know, but in this I guess this era that we living in with social media, I mean, it's like we got more consumers now than creators. You know what I mean? So like, how do you keep yourself in a mode of creativity? Yeah.
So I fail at that sometimes too, because I'm a certified doom scroller for sure. Like,
Not certified. It's official.
You can have a scroll off. I'm gonna beat you every time. Because sometimes I'll fall in the trap. I feel like we all probably sometimes do. Just fall in the trap of scrolling. Sometimes my phone, I'll be embarrassed to show you sometimes my phone tell me like, your screen time.
Man. Really?
I'll be embarrassed. I'll be like, that is too much of my life going to this. So, man, I forgot the question.
Just how do you stay creative?
Stay creative, yeah.
In this climate.
I see scrolling really gets you even when you're not doing it.
Yeah, no. So you said creating and consuming. Yeah, I definitely try to create as much as I'm consuming, because that keeps me with a healthy balance. Because when I'm just consuming, you know how it be, man. Like, sometimes scrolling, it'll put you in a mood, and we're not even designed to take in all these energies.
Man.
But you might take in, and if you scrolling for an hour, you might take in 300 or 400 people's energy just like that. You don't even realize it. You just took it all in.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So you know, it's just trying to pull back on that sometime and listen to your own thoughts. And having the phone in another room when you sleep,
That one.
you know, where it's loud enough where if somebody got a emergency or something like that, you can hear it, but you don't wake up and grab it.
Facts.
Like that's something that I need to work on, you know, and yeah, for sure.
I love that. So on Rich from Birth, one of the things that we do is we conclude with a benediction that we got from Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill, OG in the Game, Think and Grow Rich. You know, that's
Read
the
that book.
idea, right? It's a great book. But one of the things that he talks about is the riches we've been given from birth. And it's basically the power to control our own mind to whatever ends that we desire. And so as we close, we normally say the benediction that he's pulling up, but I would love if you could give our audience like your version of an inspiring something for them to get into the riches they've been given from birth. What would that be?
Just know that it is inside you. Everything that you're looking for, it's inside you. And then once you find that, understand that the rest is within community around you. And surround yourself with good people, because life is short and you really gotta make it count. You know what I mean? So if there's situations that are dragging on you that aren't completely in your best interest, that it's okay for you to remove yourself from. I know family situations sometimes are difficult, but especially things that you don't have to deal with, let it go. Because life is too short. Like yeah, I feel like it's meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be lived to the fullest, because like that, it can be done. So I think that's my most important thing I can say right now.
Amen.
Facts. O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to make wiser use of the riches you gave me at birth, consisting in the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends that I desire, because we are all
Rich from birth.
Rich from birth.
Bow.